What's going on, everybody? How you feeling? How you living? You already know who it is. It's your boy Jay, aka Big Daddy Beer, aka your favorite gamer's favorite gamer. And welcome back to another segment of Take a Walk with Me. For those that are new to this is a playlist on my channel that focuses on single player campaign related titles, one player style gaming only. Now, keep in mind, as I'm streaming these titles, these are not full length walkthroughs. It's just me showcasing gameplay of all the digital titles I have in my catalog, so keep that in mind. So, before we get started, as always, I specialize in custom art and graphic design work through my company, Imprint Street Artists. For anybody who's looking to inquire about any art or graphic related work, you can hit me up. Also, do have merch available for anyone that's interested. You can take a look at my collection through Instagram, Discord, and also through my Street Artist merch shop, courtesy of Spreadshop. Click the link, shop around anything that you guys want to purchase. You can get it printed and shipped out to you. Also, my community tab is open to anybody who wants to promote or advertise their channel or business related endeavor. Drop your link in the live chat while I'm streaming so I can moderate you and add you to the community just as a token of appreciation for all the love and support you guys have been giving me. Also, you can add me as a friend through the following platforms: Discord, PlayStation, Nintendo, Switch, Twitch, and Steam. Also, make sure you guys check out episodes of both my podcasts, The Debate Table and Art is Life. Get ready for episode 43 of the Battle of the Beat series, Lost Battles, on the Debate Table. That's going to be on Sunday, October 13th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be on the lookout for that. Future episodes to come. Last but not least, if you guys want to donate to the channel or become a member, you can do so. Just know it's optional. Still appreciate the love and support regardless whether you do or you don't. So with all that being said, let's get these links dropped and let's get it popping like we always do at this time. All right. Everything is set. All right, let's get to it. So I'm back with some more of Movie Video Game Night. For those that are new to this is a segment that showcases all different types of interactive movies and television based series. It gives you guys the opportunity to not only tune in, but join in with the interaction by choosing the choices and decisions, which will alter the outcome of the game from start to finish. Unfortunately, this is just a demo, so it won't be like full out long gameplay, but just enough to where you guys can get an idea of what to expect from this feature presentation. So this here is the Centennial Case, a Shijima Story. First time playing this one. It popped up in my recommendations, so I definitely want to check this out and see what it's all about. So everybody, welcome into the B.D.B.G.P theater. Grab you some snacks, something to drink, hop in the recliner. Let's get this feature presentation going. Let's get it.
Thank you. AG!
You're quite the success. You're a bona fide best-selling mystery writer now, Haruka. Oh, here.
We couldn't have done it without your help, AG. Thank you.
It's nothing.
You should have told me you were coming. You didn't have to wait in line. Did you really come here for my autograph? Or are you here to see Akari?
No, it's not like that.
Huh?
I mean, let's just say I wanted to see the both of you. Actually,
Yeah.
I have a favor to ask of you.
A favor?
Yeah. There's a once-in-a-century succession at my family home. And I was hoping you could get some information for me.
Your family home? You mean that grand estate at the foot of Mount Fuji?
That's right. My family has spent many years on medical research. In particular, how to stop the aging process. It's embarrassing, but I had a huge fight with my father that ended with me leaving the family. And that's why I want you to do some investigating, while pretending to write a feature story.
What are we investigating?
The so-called fruit of youth. It's been passed down for generations in my family, and a recently unearthed skeleton.
At 3 p.m. yesterday, the police were informed that skeletal remains had been found at an estate in Penmamura, Fujimine County, Shizuoka. The remains of indeterminate age and gender were buried under a large cherry tree. The police are trying to establish the identity of the deceased.
Looks like green paint in a bowl. I would not even drink that.
Who'd have thought? E.G., a literary consultant.
Yes. Haruka here writes mystery novels, and he makes sure that all the science is sound.
So, does he come up with the crime tricks too?
No, I devised them myself.
That's amazing. I read mysteries sometimes, but I never know who the culprit is. Is there some secret to figuring them out?
Well, it sounds obvious, but every story contains a mystery. And there will always be clues to help solve that mystery. Just try to connect these clues, and somehow you'll arrive at a hypothesis.
Connect the clues to the mystery.
Yes.
Connect them dots. That's how it goes.
Every story has a mystery, as well as clues to help solve that mystery. In this cognitive space, I fit the mystery and clues together like a puzzle. Come up with a hypothesis and build a connected path of logic.
And I'm here to help with the reasoning, huh?
Yes, but remember, you're just an image of AG inside my head.
Well, then...
Let's give it a shot.
Let's get it.
Well, something like that.
I see.
Connect the clues to the mystery and form a hypothesis. That's how you read a mystery novel.
Akari, you are an editor, right? How do you know E.G.?
I met him when we were looking for an advisor on scientific matters. We practically forced him to arrange today's session as well. Thank you so much for agreeing to meet us.
Ryoya insist on it. Please, make yourselves comfortable.
Thank you.
Oh, that looks very good on you.
Fly
It's been
fashion.
ages since I last wore a kimono.
You look so handsome in it.
She's right. I barely recognize you.
Well, I can't attend the cherry blossom ceremony in my regular clothes. It was all laid out for me, and most importantly...
Alright, so here's where the options come in. You guys can choose them numerically with either one. Of course, there's really no right or wrong answer. In some cases, there might be, but for the most part. It's just more so getting a majority rule. So we got option one, you want to look good for Akari, and option two, what's most important. So feel free to type in your answers for those that are here. Let's choose which option to go with and proceed on. If you guys can't choose, then I'll go ahead and choose an option. All right, so I say the first one, so let's go for that one.
You wanted to look good for Akari?
Of course not.
All the same, I'm glad there was a spare kimono for him.
Whose kimono is it?
Actually, this kimono was made for me a long time ago.
Oh, we have guests. I'm sorry for intruding. It's been a long time, hasn't it?
Sorry. Have we met?
Yayoi's only been with us for 3 years. Or perhaps you know one another from before?
No. There's just a familiar scent in the air.
That's probably me. I'm wearing a perfume with citrus notes.
Now that you mention it, that does smell refreshing. Anyway, this is our live-in housekeeper, Yayoi. You wanted to see me?
Mr. Shijima asked me to gather the equipment for the cherry blossom ceremony, but I just can't find some of the items.
Let's look for them together, shall we? E.G., I will join you later. Everyone, please go on ahead to the Shijima cherry tree.
So, was that your mother, Eiji?
Or perhaps your stepmother?
How did you know?
Oh, well.
Lucky guess. Dun dun dun. That's what that music sounded like.
She seemed a bit distant, the way she spoke to you. Too formal, and besides, she's too young to be your mother.
Very observant, Haruka.
Also, you were about to say something earlier, weren't you? Most importantly, my mother gave me this kimono. Is that what you were going to say?
Yoko is my father's second wife. They got married after I left the family.
I see. Well, she seems nice.
Yeah. I guess.
She was in the house when the skeleton was found, correct? I've got to ask her about that later.
Just remember, you're supposed to be writing about the ceremony. I can't imagine what my father would say if he finds out what I've asked you to do.
What? Is he that scary?
Well, you'll see when you meet him.
Sure.
Well then, let's go see the cherry tree.
Wow. So this is the Shijima cherry tree.
In bloom for the first time in 100 years.
Cherry trees are amazing.
The skeleton was found under this tree, right?
Yeah. Who killed and buried that sad soul here, I wonder?
Killed?
The skeleton's chest bones had marks that suggested a knife wound, apparently.
But then, shouldn't the police be investigating this?
My father's in a standoff with the police right now. He told them not to say anything until the remains were identified. But somehow, the story got leaked to the media. But the remains are nearly 100 years old, apparently. So the police have no reason to hurry. That's why I want to solve this mystery.
So what you want to know is...
Alright, so we got option 1, the identity of the skeleton. Option 2, the identity of the killer from hundreds of years ago. I would say the second one.
The killer from 100 years ago, right?
The identities of both the skeleton and the killer.
Say you do uncover the truth about this 100-year-old murder, then what?
It's of great importance to me, actually. I suspect that skeleton has something to do with the Shijima family's fruit of youth.
You've mentioned that fruit before. What is it?
More precisely, the Tokijiku no Kaku no Konomi. According to my mother, anyone who consumes this fruit will stop aging forever. It's mentioned in the Kojiki Chronicles. This fruit of youth has been passed down for generations in my family. Although I've never seen it, and my father won't tell me anything about it.
But if it's somewhere in that house, I'm going to find it and rewrite the future of medicine.
Eiji, you realize it's
You
strange
got it
for
all
a
figured
scientist
out.
to be saying all that, right?
But it isn't strange at all. Science offers countermeasures to aging.
Really?
The telomeres at the ends of the human chromosome determines how many times a cell can divide. They're like game tokens, and aging is what happens when tokens get spent. But some forms of life have an endless supply of these tokens.
Endless?
Yeah. Cancer cells, for example. They're able to multiply infinitely because their telomeres constantly repair themselves. In effect, they're ageless. That's why it isn't totally bizarre that a fruit might contain components that stop aging.
A fruit that makes people ageless. And it's called the,
Alright. Gotta remember exactly what he said. I know he said it was the Tokijuku. But I think it's all one name. But I remember the Tokijuku, so we're gonna go with that one.
Tokijiku no.
Tokijiku's fine.
What does this Tokijiku have to do with our skeleton?
I found an account of a murder committed 100 years ago, and it mentions the Tokijiku. Based on the proximity and dates, that skeleton might just be related to this case.
A murder?
I don't know the details, but the Shijima family history is full of unsolved cases, unnatural deaths, that sort of thing. Please, Haruka, I want to know the Tokijiku's whereabouts and the truth behind my family's involvement in that skeleton. Will you help me?
Yeah, it will help you, but it's gonna cost you. It may not cost you a lot, it may not cost you a little, but it's gonna cost you. So we got option 1, of course, and option 2, he'll owe me one for this. And I agree. Option 2. I get some money out the ordeal.
He'll owe me one for this. I'd be glad to help. But where should I start?
I have just the reading material for you.
Reading material?
And it's right up your...
Didn't think you'd be the first one here. Long time no see, Eiji.
You really think you can just waltz back in here and interfere with the family's succession?
You're Haruka Kagami, aren't you? Author of the Detective Makoto Nishimari series.
You know about it?
Of course. Look, Kazunaga. She created Makoto Nishimari. You know, with the cool catchphrase, the path of logic lines up.
Never heard of it.
This is Haruka Kagami.
You know, good and damn well he heard of it. He just being an ass.
Akari Yamase. My older brother, Kazunaga, and my younger brother, Mitsunori.
Nice to meet you. Just wondering, what brings you two here?
Haruka's writing a feature story.
About the skeleton under the cherry tree. I bet a mystery writer like you can't get enough.
Yeah, this dude is just hella arrogant. So we got 1, this guy must have 0 friends, or 2. I don't need to play nice with him. I say the second one. Let's go with that one.
I don't need to play nice with him. I'm dying to know more. Is the answer you're looking for, yes?
Given your expertise, why don't you try figuring it out yourself? The identity of that skeleton, I mean. Then you can proclaim the path of logic lines up.
Of course. I'll look into it.
Here comes the sensei.
Thank you for having us.
With his cool pimp walk.
Eiji, long time no see.
Dad, you're looking well.
You look terrible in a kimono.
Then it's good that I'll never have to wear one for work.
Not that you look any better in a lab coat, mind you. After leaving the family, what exactly have you been researching?
That's none of your business.
So be it. Welcome. I am Ryoei Shijima. And you must be the best-selling writer.
Alright, so we got 1. I'm indebted to Eiji for all his help. 2, best-selling is a bit of a stretch. And 3, you've heard about me. I say option 3. Let's go with that one.
You have heard of me?
I haven't read any of your books, though. So you're interested in our cherry blossom ceremony? This ceremony is an important family tradition, held once every 100 years. Feel free to take part and ask questions, but I ask you not to interfere. We don't usually let outsiders attend, after all.
We understand. Thank you. I promise we won't cause any inconvenience.
To be honest, that skeleton has attracted a lot of unwanted media attention. Such a nuisance. If this story of yours can help clarify matters, we'd be very grateful.
Who's that?
Oh, that's our gardener, Takehiko Kusakari. He's looked after this cherry tree for us for many years.
Excellent work. You should be proud, Kusakari.
It's my pleasure, sir.
Then let us begin.
It's just amazing how big that tree is and how it blossoms like that. It's just out of this world. Is it me or does this kind of remind you of like a soap opera? It's like The Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, All My Children. I got that vibe.
About Ryoe. How much does he know about me?
What do you mean?
Something he said makes me think that...
He read the interview. All right, we getting somewhere.
I think whatever he knows about me comes from reading the interview. He said that AG didn't look good in a lab coat. He must have seen the picture of AG in that interview.
He's just jealous because that kimono was fly as hell that he was rocking. I'd definitely wear something like that.
And I also told him about you, Haruka Kagami, a best-selling writer.
Huh? You didn't tell him I was a mystery writer?
Well, do you think he'd really let a pop fiction writer come in here to do a story about their centuries-old tradition?
I think he would. By the way, where did everyone go?
Oh, they're lighting incense at the altar.
What's the matter?
It's nothing. Just seem to have lost my phone strap. Maybe back at the cherry tree? I'll take a look later. Anyway, what do you make of everything so far?
The cherry blossom ceremony, this estate, the skeleton, and this Tokijiku business. Everything's a
Yeah, they
mystery.
definitely hiding something.
That reminds me. You
Something
mentioned some
ain't
reading
right.
material?
Ah, right. This could be our first clue, I think. Eiji found it, by the way.
Shinseinen, the very first magazine to publish at Ogawa Rampo.
You sure know your stuff. This issue, published nearly 100 years ago, contains the first part of a novel. The writer's name is Yoshino Shijima.
Shijima? As in one of Eiji's ancestors?
Mm-hmm. It was supposed to be a serial novel, but for some reason the other parts were never published. And guess what? The Tokijiku appears in the story. This is the 100-year-old murder case that Eiji mentioned.
But it's fiction, right?
It's presented that way. Yes, but what's written here actually happened.
So, it's a true story?
Mm-hmm. If you read this, you'll learn about
Sky B, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in
All right, I'll get
to
started.
movie video game night.
But there's just one problem.
Huh?
Some pages have holes in them, some are missing. It's not a complete story, I'm afraid.
You're right. This looks painful to read. It's full of archaic expressions, too.
But in your hands, it just might be solved.
Huh?
How about imagining the characters as people you know in real life? For example, the young protagonist. She wants to be a writer. That sounds very much like you, doesn't it?
Then what about this partner of hers, Josie, Who would this be?
Smart, somewhat aloof man. Does anyone come to mind?
We don't know too many other characters outside of the dad, the brothers, and Iji, so out of all of these, you see you get the boyfriend, Detective Makoto, Nishimari, a fellow writer, and Iji. I would say Iji. Let's go with that one.
Eiji, I guess.
What's important is how easy it is for your imagination. Focus on that.
Right. And as for the other characters...
You could try imagining them as people from the Shijima household.
The Shijima household? Of course, I'll give it a shot.
There you go, use your imagination.
We first met in the spring of 1922, the 11th year of the Taisho era. Industries languished after the end of the Great War, and disease ravaged the country once more. Many lives were lost during those dark days. But that was precisely why we pursued the joys and ambitions of life with even greater zeal. Democracy, the human right to liberty and equality. The flowers of modernity had bloomed, and they were growing out from the skulls of our dead.
Sometimes these movies make you forget it's a video game.
On that day, somewhere in Tokyo, at the residence of one Ginsaku Goto, a private auction was about to start. I heard rumors that the Tokijiku, the so-called fruit of youth, would be up for sale. And so I was on the lookout for a way in. All for the sake of that fruit.
Masanori! Setsu!
I'm very much looking forward to today, Ginsaku.
As am I, dear Setsu. Well, please come in. You too, Setsu.
Oh.
Not here.
Up to no good.
I'm sorry.
Could I have that back, please?
Sorry. Excuse me. That's pig's blood, isn't it? What's it for? That's an awfully fancy bottle for pig's blood. We had pigs back home, you see. I remember it well, since my darling pigs kept getting turned into food.
You can tell from just one look.
Well...
This is a very precious item.
Alright. Is this person going to a private auction? Option 1 or option 2? If so, maybe I can tag along. Well, the way he's dressed with the hat and everything, got that Michael Jackson Smooth Criminal hat. He's clearly going somewhere, and I feel like we'll already end up just having to tag along with him. So let's go with that first option. Sophie, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. Welcome to Movie Video Game Night.
What are you gonna sell it as, huh? A panacea? Or dragon's blood, perhaps?
Who are you?
Who am I? This ain't the Beanie Man song, and who am I? Better put some respect on my name. That's who I am.
I'm Yoshino Shijima.
Ask about me. Yeah, that's right. Fix your hat. Gangster.
You're taking part in that private auction, aren't you? I'd like to attend as well. But I heard that every participant has to bring some item related to eternal youth or immortality. She seems to be an exception, though.
Who?
The woman who went inside. I'm pretty sure she has a special relationship with the organizer. I guess people like her are welcome too.
Why do you think that?
They touched each other discreetly, so the man beside them wouldn't notice. They seemed used to that.
Yeah, getting frisky.
Wait! Don't go. You don't want me telling everyone that it's just pig's blood, do you?
What do you want from me?
Call me your companion or whatever. Just take me inside with you. Please!
Your reasoning is flawed. That woman is a legitimate participant.
Sorry I brought up that name. My first message, I was just listening to his music a few hours ago. Yeah, I was kind of confused by that. I'm like, Travis Scott. I'm like, what's that about?
Are you coming?
You let me in.
You've got a keen eye. It might
I'm not
come in
even a
handy.
Travis Scott fan like that. I'll be honest.
Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
The name's Josui Kusaka.
Yeah, these are
I heard about the
interactive
auction from Setsu.
movie games. Well,
You knew
they're not
she
necessarily
was.
interactive.
That's not fair.
I just format them so that it
Yes,
gives
you
you guys
mentioned
the
you.
opportunity
Shosui,
to
yes?
tune in
Setsu's
and
already inside.
choose between all
this
the
is-
choices and decisions that are made, which will affect the
She's my
outcome of the
traveling
game.
companion. Please don't mind her.
I see. Well, then come in. Have some tea while we wait for the auction to start.
The hell?
Something wrong?
All right, what do y'all think? Option 1, I saw something strange in the window. Option 2 is nothing. So yeah, for those that are here, just type in the chat which choice you're going with. I say 1 because we definitely saw that. Whatever that freaky looking mask was. Definitely was someone in that window.
I saw something strange in that window. I had infiltrated the auction with some unexpected assistance. Now I needed an opportunity to seize the Tokijiku. Let's do this.
Let's get it.
This is going to turn into a romance plot with Eiji, isn't it?
You mean Josui, right? Not Eiji. You're just borrowing faces and voices, remember?
That's right. Back to the story.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming. I'm the head of this estate, Ginsaku Goto. The auction will begin at noon, about an hour from now. Please make yourselves at home until then.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
There's barely anybody in that auction.
I'm Kotomiya, and I deal in antiques. As you must have heard from Ginsaku, all of today's items have some relation to eternal youth. The items you've brought will be put on display, and you'll bid for items that catch your fancy. It's time to show us how skilled you are at buying low and selling high. I hope we have an exhilarating auction.
I know anything to do with eternal youth is probably a scam, but I just love the idea of it. The romance.
What did
Oh,
everyone
sit your
bring?
goofy ass down.
Oh, I can't wait.
He laughing like somebody that's at one of those mixers when they're in the little group and they tell the joke and
That's why my
everybody starts
curiosity is
laughing.
so easily piqued.
Trying to make it sound like it's funny when it's really
What
not.
have you brought?
Good one, Todd.
Dragon's blood.
Ugh.
Long sought after by those in power. Its ability to grant eternal youth is celebrated in legends throughout the world.
Exactly, like a tweaker.
Dragon's blood. A thing of immense value if it were real.
Shouldn't auctions have more than just a few people? Yeah. I don't know what type of auction this is.
Well,
I mean,
my
like,
item
what,
was
5
once
people
kept
here.
in a certain Hachiman shrine and venerated as a relic. Legend says it's the sword of Taira no Masakado.
Lord Masakado?
Indeed. Lord Masakado was beheaded, and some accounts say his head never rotted. One could say that his sword is connected to agelessness, too.
Let me hold it.
Be careful.
Man, that's a fly sword.
Whose blood does it thirst for today, I wonder?
That's enough, Setsu.
And as for my item, are you familiar with the legend
He be
of the
tweaking so bad, his laugh shows evidence,
It's
right?
what Tajimomori found in the mythical land across the seas, isn't it?
I see you've done your research.
It's my job, after all.
Masanori is a medical researcher who also works for the Army Institute of Scientific Research.
I'm investigating ways to make soldiers stronger, and that includes the topic of agelessness.
Apparently, a certain family has been watching over the fruit of youth for generations.
Well, that's news to me.
But then this family fell into ruin, and all the Tokijiku were lost. Although, I somehow managed to get my hands on one. Look!
Word, this is...
It was indeed a Tokijiku. The very same one I'd been trying to find. No, to reclaim.
Everything I've heard. So I thought maybe, just maybe, this could be the real deal.
Oh, you're all experts at this, aren't you? Now then, we can't leave your valuable items lying around like this. We'll store them in a locked room until the auction starts. This way, please.
Let's go.
We all know tweakers laugh like retards. That barely sound like they're laughing. Yeah, right?
That leads to the basement.
Hold on a second.
Huh?
You're after the Tokijiku, aren't you?
Alright, what do y'all think? Option 1, what? No, not at all. Or option 2, why do you think that? Yeah, I mean, it's clear that's what she's there for. I mean, what other reason? She ain't there for the auction. I ain't gonna lie though, that sword was nice. I would have definitely tried to buy that if I had the money for it. Right. I'm gonna say option 2.
Why do you think that?
If you won't be honest with me, you can go back outside.
Something the matter, Josui?
Ah, I'm sorry. A companion wandered off.
As they always do. This way, please.
Don't think you're off the hook.
His laugh does not match his character.
Are you sure it's safe to put everything in here?
This door will be locked from the outside, and I'll guard this with the utmost care, so there's nothing to worry about.
What is this?
Oh, don't touch that. That's my item for the auction.
It's quite large.
Indeed. Let's have a look, shall we? Just a...
Yeah, that's the one I chose. I chose option 2.
Careless move, and we'll all be cursed.
Huh?
Yes, it's a mummy. You've all heard stories about how consuming a mummy grants longevity, I suppose. But This is no ordinary mummy. This here is a living corpse.
Sort of looks like they stole that from the Disney character Mulan. It does kind of look like that. It's still fly though.
Whether this form of eternal life brings happiness is another question altogether, of course.
Or Jack Sparrow. I'd probably say Mulan over.
There's still time before the auction
Over Jack
begins at
Sparrow.
noon. Some light refreshments in the lounge, perhaps.
Yes.
What'll it be? Speak or leave now.
I'm going to reclaim the Tokijiku. It belongs to my family after all.
Your family?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's what
my
she said.
family's situation is somewhat complicated. My father entrusted me with the Tokijiku when he told me to leave our house. But I didn't know where to go. Then I came down with a fever and fell asleep in some temple. And when I awoke...
The Tokijiku was gone.
Yes.
Hmm.
I searched everywhere, to no avail.
They stole it that quickly.
That's when I heard about this auction from an antiques dealer. I knew it'd be here. But there was no
Director,
way
so
I
what
could
actor
scrounge
shall we
up
cast
what I
as
needed to
the
get
Laughing
inside.
Man? Producer, maybe someone who has a laugh that can't be taken seriously.
That fruit
Right.
is very precious to me. I have to get it back, no matter what.
It seems you and I have the same goal.
What?
I'm also here to steal the Tokijiku. I never intended to take part in the auction. What do you say to working together? We'll join forces to get the Tokijiku.
Tag team. Alright, what do y'all think? Option 1, I could use the help, or option 2, can I really trust Joe Sway? I mean, he seems trustworthy. I mean, we got access to the auction because of him. I would say 2. You know, and if he ends up double crossing us, you know, we just whoop his ass and take his hat. So we'll go with option 2.
Can I really trust Jose? But I can't let it fall into your...
We'll discuss that later. In any case, you still seem to be in bad shape. It's fine if you want to make an enemy of me, but then I'll tell everyone the truth about you.
Snitch.
But...
Come on, Ginsaku, please.
I have a reputation to uphold.
But it's a brilliant idea, isn't it?
I won't allow it. You are not getting this key.
Don't worry. No one will suspect a thing. I'll just tamper with their items a bit, you know? Make it look like mice got into the room. Then, our items will go for higher prices. And we can get theirs for cheap.
I've already told you no. My dear Setsu, don't you realize how crass you sound right now?
Damn.
You have to understand, Kinsaku. I told so many people about this auction and gathered all these items here. All because I want you to live even just a little bit longer. You'll give me the key, won't you?
No one can know that you got the key from me. Return it when you're done.
What's wrong?
Uh-oh. Getting lightheaded.
I'll be fine. You must. The Tokijiku.
What the hell happened to her?
Not again. How long was I out for?
About 20 minutes.
Too long.
20 minutes. Then it's almost noon. The auction will start without us.
It can wait. How are you feeling?
I'm fine. We've got to find the Tokijiku.
So will it be? I think it's best for us to work together.
Alright. So, which one? Option 1, fine. Option 2, no. I'll do this alone. I mean, it's only right we help him. In return, he helps us. Seems harmless. That's 1? Alright.
Fine. The Tokijiku is mine, though.
If you say so. You've got grit, I like that. Setsu hasn't returned yet from at the storeroom.
And she's alone in there. Now's our chance to get the fruit.
Let's go. Can you walk?
Yes.
The door's locked.
You got no business being around there, snooping and all
It's
that.
the perfect opportunity. I'm sorry. If only I hadn't passed out.
Who's there? Ah, it's you two. Everyone's looking for you. What were you doing here?
Well,
Just what are you up to?
We'll be honest with you. We saw Setsu ask Ginsaku to give her the key to this room. I thought she might do something to the auction items, so we came to take a look.
Setsu has the key? Are you sure?
Yes, but she doesn't seem to be here anymore. She must have gone back to the manor.
Actually, she's not there either.
What? Not even in Ginsaku's room?
Indeed. The auction is going to start any minute now. Are you sure she's still not in there?
The door's locked.
Setsu! Setsu! Are you in there? Setsu!
Uh-oh.
this is... Wait! Is this... blood?
Yes, it is. Alright, what y'all think? 1, is someone at the end of the corridor, or 2, is someone locked in the storeroom? Honestly, they could be either or. It could be someone at the end of the corridor dead and slumped over in front of the style storeroom. You said two? Alright.
Is someone locked in the storeroom?
The hell is that? Oh, snap.
It's alive! It's alive!
All ass.
He moved! He moved! He moved!
What's going on?
The mummy! The mummy's alive! That masked mummy, the one Ginsaku brought.
It was holding a sword covered in blood!
How absurd. Are you sure you aren't imagining things?
Yes, I saw it with my own eyes. There were red stains in front of the storeroom door, and they were all along the corridor, and then there it was.
Kinu, have you been here the whole time since the items went in the storeroom?
No, I've just been wandering about the manor. Ginsaku and Masanori also went about their business, I'm sure.
So everyone was in separate places.
That's a lie.
Where did Setsu go?
Ginsaku, where have you been?
Oh, Setsu's missing. I've been looking for her the whole time.
Perhaps she was killed by the mummy. Perhaps she touched something she wasn't supposed to, and this is her punishment.
Ginsaku, you gave Setsu the key to the storeroom, didn't you?
I don't know what
We
you're...
actually saw you hand over the key to her.
This is a
She
mutant.
was going to damage the other items to reduce their value, isn't that right?
I told her... I was against it, but Setsu...
Is there a duplicate key?
No. That was the only key.
The door to the storeroom was locked just now. We saw the mummy outside the room, which means...
I see. That mummy must have taken the key from Setsu and then locked the door.
Wait a minute. What's all this about the mummy?
Your mummy, Ginsaku, might be a real living corpse after all.
Hey, stop laughing now. Yeah, Setsu's not even there. Alright, what do y'all think? One, we have to find Setsu, or two, we have to take a closer look at that mummy. I don't think they want no problem with that mummy. The way that thing was looking, that was crazy. I say one. Find Setsu. Figure out what the hell is going on, because this is turning into a Scooby-Doo type mystery.
In any case, first, we have to find Setsu.
Masanori, you'll go.
Me?
You're in the army, aren't you? You're probably the only man here who could win a fight. We're counting on you.
Fine.
Well?
I searched every inch of the manor, but...
How about the storeroom?
I looked around it, but couldn't get inside. The door is still locked after all.
Alright, option 1, let's go and check the storeroom. Or option 2, we should definitely take a closer look at that mummy. I'm thinking of doing everything opposite of dealing with that mummy, so let's check that storeroom.
Well, let's go and check the storeroom together.
Good idea. Let's bring something to break the lock with.
Excuse me.
I have a bad feeling about this.
Oh, snap.
Setsu!
Terrible! The Tokichiku, it's gone!
The mummy.
Uh-oh.
There it is. Just a dried up old mummy. But then, what did we see earlier?
What the hell happened here?
Wait. An investigation will be bad for both of us. Who knows what we'll be accused of?
You think we should run away?
If we run now, everyone will think we did it.
Then, what can we do?
We'll have to inform the police eventually.
But then we'll be suspects.
That's why we'll figure it out first. Before the police get here. We'll find the killer and prove it with hard evidence.
Hard evidence, of course.
What happened today? Who did what and where? We have to recall every last detail. There must be a clue somewhere. And when we find the killer...
So he got it all figured out.
We'll find the Tokichiku too.
The victim is Setsu, a collector of strange tales. Her body was found in a locked storeroom in the basement with her throat slit. The murder weapon was probably the blood-stained sword in the mummy's hand.
We caught sight of the mummy around the time of the murder. Aside from the sword, the mummy was also holding the storeroom key.
We have what appears to be a killer mummy. What could be the truth behind this case?
Very interesting. What was that, mummy? That is a very good question. Hey, there's a lot of evidence. Someone was disguised as a mummy? Probably doing like Scooby-Doo and whatnot. Dressing up as like a villain and chasing them around. Mummy man is crazy, I know. So now we gotta figure out the rest of these pieces. So yeah, all these pieces here, we have to figure out which one is the correct one and put them all together. We've already started. So yeah, we just have to finish putting everything together to see what happens next. Someone was disguised as the mummy. Okay, so we could. All right, so we can move up. see. Okay, so yeah, remember Setsu, she was killed in the storeroom. Full of blood, yeah. Gensaku had the key. Is he the killer? Hmm. Killer was trying to hide the evidence. Hmm. Yeah, they must have been. She's probably trying to get out or break free. Got killed in the process. Yeah, she did get the key from him. So this might have been a setup. Question is, why? Yeah, she was old as hell. Probably wanted that eternal youth. That makes sense. That's crazy. Oh wow. Kind of like almost like creating a diversion. Why did Kinsaku give Setsu the key? Very good question. Setsu said, I'll wear the pants in this relationship or affair. Oh yeah, they had a special relationship, all right. Mm. Yeah, definitely would. Oh wow. Yeah, so this was all kind of like set up in a sense. That's what it's looking like. All right, we're getting somewhere. What was the purpose of the mummy? Oh, immortality. Hell, eating mummy flesh grants longer life? Hell no. snap. Oh, that's crazy. Wow. Yeah, this is very interesting. Killed by the curse of the mummy. Damn. Mm. Yeah, that is a possibility. All right, we're putting a lot of these pieces together. Oh yeah, that phone on a small box. saying that nobody was disguised, but then again, who knows? Yeah, it's possible. We can't rule nobody out. Everyone's a suspect. A body double. That does make some sense. Probably. It's a lot of different hypotheses. Oh, we got most of the evidence. That little ass box. Alright, that's all of them.
Well then, let's go through our reasoning. What do you find most unusual about this case?
What's intriguing? The scene of the crime, things the killer used for the murder, the mummy, or others. I say the mummy because that threw me off. The mystery that's intriguing is, what was that mummy? Was someone disguised as the mummy? Why would someone don a mummy disguise? What was used for disguise? What was the purpose of the mummy? I say the purpose. The hypothesis is intriguing. The mummy was searching for blood. The mummy wanted to found the fruit of youth. The mummy wanted to make the others immortal.
Have you got your thoughts in order?
Yes. The answer must be somewhere within our hypothesis thus far. Excuse me, everyone.
Yes. The auction will be canceled, of course. Once the police get here, they'll ask many questions, and I must ask all of you to leave.
Please, let me speak for a moment. This is going to be about Setsu's murder. One of us here is the killer, perhaps.
What?
I'll
They said it like they
explain
were
what I figured out
surprised.
so far. First,
Wait a minute. Are we to let you play detective? I will not stand to be called a criminal based on some amateur's haphazard guesses.
The killer is among us, you say? There'll be real consequences if you're wrong. But if you're willing to take that risk, so be it. Let's hear you out.
thank you. First, about the mummy we saw. Right before the auction was to start at noon, Josie and I went to the storeroom. Masanori was there too. That was when we saw the mummy, wielding a blood-stained sword. Or so we thought at the time in our panic. But after some calm reflection, I think it's more likely that... It must have been someone in disguise.
A disguise, huh? That makes sense.
Of course. After murdering Setsu, the killer dressed up as the mummy and appeared in front of us.
In that case, whoever wasn't in the lounge when you saw the mummy must be the killer.
Kino, you were the only one in the lounge at that time. The three of us saw the mummy.
Which means...
Wait a minute. Where are you going with this nonsense?
But you're the only one who could have appeared in front of them as the mummy.
Is he the killer?
Ginsaku?
I don't know. For anybody that's here, what do y'all think? Is Ginsaku the killer? Or is he not the killer? I don't know. I can't think of any other reason why the rest of them would want to kill her. I think it's him.
That's right. Ginsaku is the killer.
What?
It had to be Ginsaku, who was disguised as the mummy.
No, that can't be right. After we saw the mummy and ran back here, Ginsaku came by almost immediately. There is no way that he could have changed out of the mummy disguise without being noticed in such a short time.
Huh? But wouldn't that confirm the fact that none of us could have actually been the mummy?
That's right.
So, who on Earth could actually have been the mummy?
Anyway, we can all agree that I'm not the killer, yes?
Let me think about it some more. Ginsaku isn't the killer. Nor was he the person disguised as a mummy. It must have been someone in disguise.
A disguise, huh? That makes sense.
Of course. After murdering Setsu, the killer dressed up as the mummy and appeared in front of us.
In that case, whoever wasn't in the lounge when you saw the mummy must be the killer.
Kino, you were the only one in the lounge at that time. The three of us saw the mummy.
Which means...
Wait a minute. Where are you going with this nonsense?
But you're the only one who could have appeared in front of them as the mummy.
Is he the killer?
Ginsaku? Ginsaku isn't the killer. Nor was he the person disguised as a mummy.
How can you be so sure? But no one else had the time to dress up like that.
The reason Ginsaku isn't the killer is... Ginsaku isn't the killer because he and Setsu were lovers. Apologies for eavesdropping, but I overheard the two of them speaking intimately. I don't believe that Ginsaku could have killed Setsu.
Is that so? Love can burn so intensely that it turns to hate, you know?
I loved Setsu with all my heart. Although we disagreed on many, many things.
It's difficult to know what someone else is feeling. There's no way we can know how much Ginsaku loves Setsu. It makes no sense to exclude him from suspicion on the basis of his affections.
You're right. Let's try this again. Think about it. Above all else, Ginsaku didn't want it known that he had lent Setsu the key.
No one can know.
Think about it. Above all else, Ginsaku didn't want it known that he had lent Setsu the key.
No one can know.
See, now this is kind of confusing.
Ginsaku isn't the killer. Nor was he the person disguised as a mummy.
How can you be so sure? But no one else had the time to dress up like that.
The reason Ginsaku isn't the killer is... Ginsaku isn't the killer because the mummy had the key to the storeroom. After discovering Setsu's body, we found the mummy at the end of the corridor. And it was holding the key.
What do you mean?
Think about it. Above all else, Ginsaku didn't want it known that he had lent Setsu the key.
No one can know.
If Ginsaku was the killer, he would never have put the key in the mummy's hand. He would have kept it immediately. Otherwise, he'd be the first person to come under suspicion for this murder.
I see. That's a good point.
Give me a break.
Ginsaku was not the mummy, so who was it? There's only one person who could have been disguised as the mummy. And that's... There's only one person who could have been the mummy. And that person isn't here now.
What do you mean, isn't here?
I'm referring to the victim. And that would be Setsu.
Nonsense. She was killed before the mummy incident, was she not?
When was Setsu killed? And that's the crux of the matter. Setsu was killed before we saw the mummy around noon.
Wait a minute. If Setsu was the mummy, how could she have been killed before the mummy incident? How can that be?
You're right. That doesn't make any sense. Sorry. Let me get my thoughts in order.
So, who locked the storeroom door before we saw the mummy?
Setsu did, after she put on her disguise.
This is a lot to unpack.
There's only one person who could have been the mummy. And that person isn't here now.
What do you mean, isn't
here now? Then who? And that's... There's only one person who could have been the...
Hold on a second, trying to go back.
There's only one person who could have been the mummy. And that person isn't here now.
What do you mean, isn't here?
I'm referring to the victim. And that would be Setsu.
Nonsense. She was killed before the mummy incident, was she not?
When was Setsu killed? And that's the crux of the matter. Setsu was killed after we saw the mummy sometime around noon.
Hold on. Didn't we agree that the murder happened before the mummy incident?
No. We only established that all of us were free to move about before noon, including Setsu.
So, who locked the storeroom door before we saw the mummy?
Setsu did, after she put on her disguise. She disguised herself as the mummy and waited outside the storeroom for us.
Why would she do such a thing?
Setsu went into the storeroom to tamper with everyone else's items, lowering their value and raising the value of her own. She then put on the mummy disguise to make the curse seem credible, thus further increasing the selling price. Buyers love a good backstory, after all.
Ginsaku's mummy, Masanori's sword, Josu's dragon's blood. Setsu staged her living corpse performance using everyone else's items
After ditching the mummy disguise, she intended to rejoin us and feign complete ignorance.
But then she was killed.
We know that the mummy was Setsu. Setsu was still alive around noon, which means the murder took place after that. That leaves only one person who could have possibly been the killer. Yes. The person who killed Setsu is...
I don't think it was him. Might have been her. She just got that look of suspicion.
You're the killer. Kinu, it's you.
What do you mean? You're saying I killed Setsu?
Am I wrong?
It's quite obvious that you are. Allow me. The murder took place after noon, correct? You said so yourself.
Yes.
I was here at noon, and I have been with all of you since then. When could I have committed the crime?
Now that you mention it.
Now that you mention it.
Oh, cut it! Ginsaku, remove this insolent child at once. We've almost identified the killer, so let's finish this ourselves, shall we?
I was thrown out of the manor, and I never managed to reclaim the Tokichiku.
Wow.
It was time for the auction to start, but there was no sign of Setsu. That's when you went looking for her, didn't you? You're the only person who was alone.
So it was him?
Setsu was killed after we saw the mummy sometime around noon.
Hold on. Didn't we agree that the murder happened before the mummy incident?
No. We only established that all of us were free to move about before noon, including Setsu.
So, who locked the storeroom door before we saw the mummy?
Setsu did, after she put on her disguise. She disguised herself as the mummy and waited outside the storeroom for us.
Why would she do such a thing?
Setsu went into the storeroom to tamper with everyone else's items, lowering their value while raising the value of her own. She then put on the mummy disguise to make the curse seem credible, thus further increasing the selling price. Buyers love a good backstory, after all.
Ginsaku's mummy, Masanori's sword, Josie's dragon's blood. Setsu staged her living corpse performance using everyone else's items.
After ditching the mummy disguise, she intended to rejoin us and feign complete ignorance.
But then she was killed.
We know that the mummy was Setsu. Setsu was still alive around noon, which means the murder took place after that. That leaves only one person who could have possibly been the killer. Yes. The person who killed Setsu is... The person who killed Setsu is... you, Masanori. Isn't it? Straight after the mummy incident, we all gathered here in the lounge, didn't we? It was time for the auction to start, but there was no sign of Setsu. That's when you went looking for her, didn't you? You're the only person who was alone. You left the lounge, went to the storeroom, and killed Setsu. Then you took the key from her, locked the storeroom, and dumped the mummy at the end of the corridor. Once all that was finished, you returned to the lounge. Am I right?
Yeah, he's quiet. He ain't saying nothing.
When I went to the storeroom, the door was open. I saw her inside, taking off the mummy disguise. The auction items were all irreparably damaged. So I went up to her and demanded an explanation. Without answering, she suddenly lunged at me, and in the ensuing struggle, that sword just...
Wow.
What happened after that was just as you said. And you know, I thought no one would suspect me if I made use of Setsu's mummy incident. What I said earlier about researching eternal youth, that was a lie. The truth is, someone hired me to search for the Tokijiku. 3 days ago, I heard about this gathering from Setsu. I came here today in the hope that someone might bring the Tokijiku. I intended to win the bid, but even if I didn't, I was just going to take it by force after the auction. In some dark alley at night.
The Tokijiku is the only item that's still missing. You hid it somewhere, didn't you?
Yeah, he is.
That fruit
Not
was
saying a
originally
word.
mine. Someone stole it from me.
We can assume that Setsu was his thief. Ginsaku, you knew about it, didn't you?
Please give it back to me.
It's not here anymore.
Huh?
As soon as I got it, I handed it off to my employer's lackey outside the manor.
You're lying! Why didn't you run away after that?
Running away is the same as admitting guilt, is it not? That's why I decided to stay. Still, the plan back... I think it was the Scarlet Camellia. That's what the lackey said. I've never met them myself. I don't even know if that's their real name.
Wow.
Sonori Minami. My family has received the Tokijiku from the Sakakis for generations. And every 100 years, during our cherry blossom ceremony, someone would be chosen to eat the fruit. But the Sakakis were attacked and wiped out by forces who wanted the Tokijiku. My family had but one Tokijiku left. And since the massacre, we've kept it hidden so the world would never know of its existence. That was the fruit my father entrusted me with.
Take this and leave this place now.
Huh? My father's health was poor, and he often stayed in his room, but he was always kind to me. On that day, however, he sounded so serious, so grave. And I just couldn't defy his orders. My father often said that people weren't meant to live without growing old. I think he decided to turn his back on the Shijima family when he gave me the Tokijiku. That's why I have to get it back from this Scarlet Camellia character.
But you still don't know a thing about them. Isn't that dangerous?
But I can't give up.
You certainly are stubborn.
My father often said the same thing. I got it from my mother, apparently. But we were separated when I was a baby, so I don't have any memories of her. He only started calling me stubborn after I decided I wanted to be a writer.
A writer?
Yes. I want someone to read the novels I've written, to meet them, and hear about their impressions about my work. That's my dream. But everyone in my family was against it. They told me I should settle down and get married and raise children because the Shijimas are a family of doctors.
Times change. If you're stubborn enough, you'll always find a way.
That's kind of you to say, Josie. But tell me, why are you after the Tokijiku? It's not something most people know about.
Like a doodle ball.
Is that my Tokijiku? You have one too?
As a prisoner of circumstance, I must keep searching for the Scarlet Camellia while guarding this fruit. The Sakaki family you mentioned, they were destroyed by the Scarlet Camellia. Your father
Shy,
was
how
right.
you feeling? How you living?
You shouldn't
Welcome
be
in.
involved.
Appreciate you coming through.
Eternal youth invites death. Ironic, isn't it? As one who doesn't age, I should know.
What? Uncle Azan? Josie!
Yoshino!
It was my uncle, Azan Shijima, and his companion, Toako.
We've been searching everywhere for you.
Stop right there. You know I don't like it when you smoke.
That's right. Come, let's go back home.
I won't go back!
Your father is worried sick.
You didn't come for me. You want the Tokijiku, don't you?
Wait! Yoshino!
There, she said, I'm gone. It's the worst outfit to escape on. Yeah, I know, right? Let's see. What's the options? I have to get far away from them. I'll stay still and let them go past me. Let's see. Let's go with option 2.
I'm still not feeling well. Josie Kusaka. I didn't have a clue who the real person behind that name was. But returning home was out of the question, and I had no one else to rely on.
Yeah, well, we did our best. This was a very challenging one, but still fun nonetheless. Well, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. For those that tuned in, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. For those just making their way in, you guys can check the replay out. It's a really dope title. Again, I still have more interactive movie games coming, so definitely be on the lookout for those.
元をたどれば先代もこのしきたりをやめようとしていたと聞く。改めて私の代で終わりにすることにした。
赤椿。あなたは本物の西成誠を生み出した方だ。何か思いつくことがあったら教えてください。あなたが時軸を使えば母さんは救えたかもしれないんだ。ちょうどその頃毒入りジュースなどの事件が立て続けに起こっていますね。大変なことになりました。
M4, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through.
私のことは西成誠とでも呼んでください。
Oh yeah, yeah, it's really dope. It's I don't think it's from the FMV company. I think it's a different company. I gotta double check again. It might be, but yeah, they got so many of these different ones, and there's so many hidden gems. So it's really dope. DJ SSU, how you feeling? How you living? Welcome in. Appreciate you coming through. But yeah, for those making their way in, you guys, full motion video. Oh, because they actually have an interactive company called FMV. So that's what I thought you were talking about. I know they've made some of the previous titles that I've played and streamed. But yeah, it's like FMV Interactive. So that's what I thought you meant by the abbreviation there. But yeah, these full motion videos, they're really dope. Yeah, so I got a couple more I'm going to be doing. There's a few that are kind of like novels, but you know, I'm going to format them into movie games so that you guys can check those out. But yeah, definitely check out the replay for everybody coming in. Before I wrap this up, make sure you guys click this link that's pinned at the top of the chat. That's for my next Battle of the Beats Lost Battles episode on the debate table. It's going to be episode 43. Click that link, share it out, spread the word, set your notifications. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. It's going down. So as the lights come on in the theater, quietly make your way out so the ushers can clean up and do their thing. Again, I appreciate all the continuous love and support. Big shout out to each and every one of y'all. Make sure that you guys like, comment, subscribe. Most importantly, hit that notification bell. Anytime I go live, come through, kick your feet up, relax. My home is your home. You already know what it is. And remember the 4 beautiful things that make this world go round. Peace, love, positivity, and prosperity always. So until next time, it's your boy signing off. Much love, peace, and I'm gone.